It's time again for Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.
Welcome to another episode of Talking Trade. I'm Ken Wasylik, Managing Director of EM Wasylik and Associates, an international business development company.
And I'm Sandi Siegel, President of MEJ. Welcome our guest today, Chris Wojtowicz. Chris, an international trade consultant with SBDC, the Small Business Development Group at the University of Wisconsin system. So like many of our guests, Chris, you are part of the wealth of resources we have for Wisconsin entrepreneurs and established companies who are exploring opportunities in international trade. I think there's some things unique to what you do over at that as part of SBDC. So tell us about, some of the things you do, the people you visit and talk to, and how you help them with some of the adventures and things that they're pursuing in trade.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me on today. Always grateful for the opportunity. And you're right, 1,000% right. Wisconsin has a wonderful, really dynamic ecosystem of help for exporters here in Wisconsin. The Small Business Development Center is just one part of that. For myself, I meet with clients of any size, whether it's a mom and pop type of organization that has an idea, to somebody that's been in business for the last 100 years and needs a brush up on something or whatnot. I meet people where they're at, and we provide a lot of technical assistance. We really get into the weeds with people on any type of product or thought or service.
So when you meet with these various large, small, a wide range of companies, probably a wide range of industries, agriculture, manufacturing, software, and alike, are there some common themes that you see or common questions that these clients or common challenges that all these exporters and international developers are asking you?
I've in the last couple of years now with the SBDC, I've found about 5 of them. Technical things like harmonized tariff classification. Am I using the right code? Do I need an export license? How do I know if I'm doing business with the right guy? That's, to us in the industry, that's denied party screening. And one of the biggest ones is, how do I get paid? We see a lot of that, and we bring forth a lot of our resources for that. Again, going back to the resources, District Export Council has this really cool trade finance guys. Boy, I'm going to get killed because Bruce is our trade guy, trade finance guy, and the TF&R team, trade finance and risk. Thank you. I say it myself. So there's all these opportunities, free resources that are out there to help people answer that question. How do I get paid? Yeah. It's a lot.
And how do you tap into these resources? If there's a company out there, how do you access the SBDC or the Wisconsin DEC?
Sure. For a lot of that, it's perhaps doing a Google search and getting our onto our website and requesting that assistance, whether it's the SBDC or the District Export Council. A lot of people start off, locally with their chambers of commerce or their economic development organizations, their freight forwarders and the like. And then companies that are, international management type of companies that are like, start here first. Get that educational assistance that you need to best take advantage of our services, whether that be some of the companies that are out there that will help you develop your international business, or if you want to take advantage of a trade venture at the state level with the WEDC, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, or U.S. Commercial Service. So it's getting onto those websites, it's attending those events, and just basically asking your resources. I think what's true of all of us is that if we don't know, we know someone that does.
Right, exactly. And in your role, Chris, do you like follow these customers through the whole process, or are you just making the connections and, kind of handing them off, so to speak?
A little bit of both. So, we start out with getting clients export ready so that they understand all that they need to do to be able to take their business internationally. At that point, we we act as a coach, and then we guide them to other state resources. So, if it's the right forwarder, if it's the right government agency, might be DATCAP, for example. They've got a really great international program for agriculture and dairy, things of that nature. So it's, the cool part about our ecosystem is there really isn't any competition between us. It's all helping each other out for Wisconsin businesses.
Yeah, right. We're all winners at the end of the day, right? Yeah, no, it's a great community. In regards to compliance, how do you steer your clients there? That's such a focus these days with all of the challenges, politically and all the extra, restrictions and so forth and sanctions. When does a company know that they need a compliance program, and where do they start?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And Ken, I should have also added that into your first question, but thank you, Sandy, for that lead in. Yeah, when do I know I need help? We always try to anticipate things before they become problems, right? No one ever wants to react to something. So my basic advice to companies of any size is really to take a step back and assess, where are you? What are you doing? What does your product do? Now, I tell you, 99% of the stuff that we make in the United States, or in Wisconsin especially, probably doesn't need an export license, probably doesn't have that technology that the government's super concerned about, like weapons of mass destruction and missiles and whatnot. But there's always that but. Our trade world is becoming more complex. So, I don't want to scare people away, but I want them to just to take a look and see what could possibly affect their business. It could be something as remote as some new legislation on lumber, right? What type of pallet can I use to ship my product? In the event, or I guess at the end of the day, if you're exporting and you have any type of concern about your product or who you're doing business with, that would be the time you need a compliance professional. Now, I also tell people at the beginning too, it's probably better to find that consultant. The SBDC is a great place to start. District Export Council is a great place to start. And to start you on your journey of how to understand what affects you. The unfortunate part is a lot of people will say, oh, well, my freight forwarder's got that handled. I want to give that caution right there. Your freight forwarder is not your compliance program. The freight forwarder does have legal things that they need to do, but at the end of the day, kind of like doing your taxes, the IRS isn't coming after H&R Block, they're coming after you.
That's right. Well, thank you for that as a freight forwarder. Yes, I would agree.
That's a good, sorry about that.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Yes, Sandy has straightened me out many a times about that. So that's a great thing. So, there's many exporters up in northern Wisconsin where you're at, Chris. Can you share any success stories? Everybody likes to hear a success story here.
Wisconsin is so diverse. We've got a lot of really cool things going on. And yep, I'm up here in Northwest Wisconsin, and again, I would have to say a majority of the people think about Northwest Wisconsin and they're going to bring their fishing pole, right, or their snowmobile, and they drive by some small little town, and what's that doing here? And it's this huge manufacturing plant in the middle of town, and well, did you know For example, I think of one client in Chippewa Falls. I think
Oh,
it's something to the effect of 65% of all beans or kidney beans or red beans come through that particular facility. 65% of all the beans that are consumed in the world go through this guy. I'm like, wow, how does that work? Or, I think about another manufacturer that makes scales, scales for all types of applications. And again, worldwide company located right here in little old Northwest Wisconsin. It's amazing the reach that we have. It's not just it's not just down in your neck of the woods in Madison and Milwaukee. There's a lot of businesses up here in the Northland.
Yeah. No, I was recently at the ComExpo to AgCom show in Las Vegas back in April. I met a number of companies, manufacturing companies up in northern Wisconsin and Superior and alike. And you're right. Many people could be surprised by the diversity. It's not all about snowmobiling and fishing and agriculture or cranberries. I would say, there's a wide variety and real diversity in the entire state, not just in southeast Wisconsin. Well, Chris, we're running out of time. It's great to have you on the show again. And like always, you always give us great information and where to start. And we know our listeners and ourselves, Sandy and I, know where to come the next time we need assistance on trade compliance and trade development and get those resources to expand our export business here in the U.S. So thank you very much and have a great day.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. And thanks for joining Talking Trade.
You've been listening to Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.